One sec.
Thank you. So we have two Representative Costain. Is that going to be one vote?
Okay, we're live.
Yeah, how'd you get on my picture?
I don't know what happened.
Because you
I
used the
don't
link
either,
that he sent
Trying to
you.
steal my identity?
Oh, you use the link I sent you, Dick. Right, that's why.
Oh, well, I'm not
Okay.
gonna, I didn't get the
Maybe-
link at all.
Deb, do you think you can change Representative Pickett to his real name?
Of course.
Of course, okay, thank you.
And I didn't get the link, Deb. I don't know why. I've always got all your links from before, but I didn't get it this morning. Dan had to forward the link that you sent him to me.
There's been some weird glitches in the system.
Okay.
Oh,
There I am.
Let me
There
know
I
if that,
am. I got my identity back. Costain, that'll teach you.
Okay, people, we now are on YouTube and welcome you back. I've seen some of you since we last were all here. Nice to see you again. I'm going to read for the public what we normally do, establishing a quorum and what have you. So let's, this is the work session. I will begin by establishing a quorum. So Deb, could you call out the names to see if we have a quorum?
sure. Senator DeChambeau,
Present?
Senator Lawrence. Absent. Senator Searway is present.
Yep.
Representative Warren is present. Representative Morales absent. Representative Reckitt also absent. Representative Sharp absent. Representative Lookner present. Representative Pickett
Yes, I'm here.
present. Representative Costain present. Representative Ritnicki present. Representative Newman is present and Representative Pluker is absent.
We don't have a quorum.
Thank you. I am Senator Susan DeChambeau, co-chair, and I will be presiding over this work session today of the Joint Standing Committee on Criminal Justice, Public Safety. The purpose of work sessions is for the committee to receive information from staff and others in order for members to consider the legislative proposals before them and make recommendations to the legislature. Only committee members, the committee analysts, and those specifically invited to attend will be participating in this work session using Zoom. For members of the public wishing to observe the meeting, it is being live streamed on the committee's YouTube channel and will be recorded for viewing after the meeting is concluded. Work sessions also are as a result of, we have had public hearings and the three bills that we'll be considering today all have had a public hearing. Materials will be provided electronically for this meeting, either through screen share, email, or posted to the committee's material page before the meeting or soon after. When it comes time for the committee to vote, we must have a quorum present, at least 7 members, including a senator. In order to be counted as present, your identity must be visually verifiable on the Zoom screen. We have a quorum, and I will have the individual members introduce themselves, and I will look, well, first of all, I will ask my co-chair, Representative Warren, to introduce herself.
Thank you, Senator DeChambeau. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everybody.
I am Representative Charlotte Warren, and I represent District 84, which includes the city of Hollowell and the towns of Manchester and West Gardner.
Thank you. Representative, do you have your mic on? Oh, I heard some reverberation. Okay. I will look at the screen and just call you as I see you because I'll forget someone here. I've got Representative Wernicke, please.
Good morning. I'm Representative Shelley Rudnicki. I represent House District 108, which is Fairfield, Mercer, and Smithfield. And I still believe we're doing a disservice by not being in person for these meetings. And I'd also hope that the House Chair will give the same respect to the straight white men coming before us as she expects them to give her. Thank you.
I trust that maybe that will suffice for the rest of the meetings, I trust. Representative Newman?
I'm Representative Newman, District 76, which is Belgrade, Rome, Mount Vernon, Vienna, Fayette, and Wayne.
Thank you. Representative Pickett?
Yes, my name's Dick Pickett. I represent House District 116, the towns of Mexico, Dixfield, Canton, Peru, and Hartford.
Senator Seaway?
Good morning. I'm Senator Scott Searway, and I represent District 16, which covers Waterville, Winslow, Fairfield, Benton, Albion, Clinton, and Unity Township.
Representative Lookner?
Morning, I'm Grayson Lookner. I represent District 37, which is part of Portland.
And Representative Costain?
Good morning, Dan Costain, I represent District 100, which is part of Etna, Newport, Corinna, and Dixmont.
Thank you. And I'd like for our staff to introduce themselves, and that is Deborah Fahey.
Hi, I'm Deb Fay, the clerk for Criminal Justice and Public Safety.
Thank you. And our policy analyst, Ms. Overton.
Jane Overton, OPLA analyst for the committee.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I skipped you, Victoria. For some reason, I said I knew you were going to speak on your bill, and I thought I'd wait for you then. I'm sorry. So yes, would you please identify yourself?
Thank you, Senator. Victoria Morales, representing South Portland and House District 33.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So there's been an adjustment. The first, is that 1175?
Yes, please.
Followed by 1154 and then 476. I'm going to be asking if the sponsor of 1175, which is an act to prohibit excessive telephone, video, commissary charges in Maine jails and prisons. Is the sponsor with us? I don't see that. Deb, has Marianne Kinney received notice?
Yes. Yeah, she's
okay.
not in the attendees room though at the moment.
May I ask you if you can give her a call? So we either will, why am I getting feedback? Okay. Let me first recognize Representative Pickett.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just point of order. Did we have a quorum when we went through? I know there was a lot of absentees at that time. Do we have a quorum? A quorum?
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
So we're gonna, I'd like to skip 11:75 until we find out. I did receive an email last night. Representative Kinney is somewhat under the weather, but I would like to at least make one attempt if she intends to come for today.
Senator,
Yes, Representative Costain.
I just texted her, waiting for a response back for you.
Good. Let us know. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we've got a really short list here. I'm going to put this one aside. Representative Warren, you've got some information about Representative Collins' bill?
Yes, I do.
So let's take a look at Representative Collins' bill, and that is LD 1154. And the title is an act to improve the safety of prisoners and jail staff by limiting work hours of jail employees. So I turn it over to Representative Warren.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just spoke with Representative Collins before 10 o'clock, and he is off to take a child to an appointment, a doctor's appointment, and has asked that if we could table this bill till next week. He has been in conversation with the sheriffs. So that was the request from him that I said I would forward on.
We're starting well for this session, aren't we? So I guess if there's no objection to that, we'll have to schedule it. You said next week? Yeah.
Madam Chair, I think the procedure would be that I just didn't want to make the motion until folks got a chance to discuss it quickly, but I would then be willing to make a motion to table and we would take a vote on that. But I didn't want to jump right in it out of respect for my
Sorry.
colleague.
Yep, you're right. Thank you. Senator Searway?
Senator, you're
Senator
on mute.
Seaway, you're muted.
The common problem when you're stato. So I just wanted to see if we wanted to hear from Jane, maybe just analysis from this and then decide if you want to table it or go from there. Is that what you'd like to do?
I'm going to speak. I spoke with, well, Representative Warren spoke with Mr. Collins. I don't think we need to take the time to begin this today.
Okay.
Apparently, another reason, he has recently spoken with Sheriff Joyce. He may have an amendment. He may have something different. So let's
I'll
hold
just make a
on.
motion then. I'll make a motion
Well,
to table it.
I have two hands up, Senator Searway, and I'd
Yeah.
like to recognize them, and I'll come back to you for your motion, okay?
Okay, yep.
Representative Pickett?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Could you tell me what the main reason was that he was unable to be with us today? I think it was something about taking somebody to a doctor's appointment or something. Is that correct? I just didn't catch it.
Yes, that he is taking a child to a doctor's appointment this morning. I received a call from him this morning.
Okay. And the other, if I just heard you right, Senator DeChambeau, the other part of it is that he has had conversations with Sheriff Joyce, who he had been talking with before on this.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Representative Costain, you have your hand up. Yes. Are you
Can
in
you
the
hear me?
twilight zone? No, we didn't, but You're not muted, so we should hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I don't know what happened. I can't see anything or anything, but Mary Ann Kenny, just spoke with her. She's, I just sent her the link. She's coming right on.
Okay, thank you. So now I'll turn it over to, does anybody have other comments to make about the requests of Representative Collins to postpone? Hearing none, I will recognize Senator Searway.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll make a motion to table LD 1154.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on that motion? He asked for what, 1 week, 2 weeks? 1 week. That's not going to be in sealed and until we look. I know there's 1 week that we have a lot of public hearings. It will be a long day. So we'll work with Representative Warren and I will work with our analysts to find a day we can squeeze that in, okay? And I see Representative Costain, your hand is still up from the last time you spoke. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in here. Sorry.
No, we see you, we hear you, okay. Representative Renecki.
I have a problem with postponing something that's been on the docket. We've known about this now for at least 2 weeks. And our schedule gets full and we end up having to postpone and table these things. This one has already been carried over from last session and we postpone and we carry these forward until we're having to work 3-4 days a week. And I think that, you know, if we had done, if this is an appointment that had been scheduled, then this could have been shifted around prior to this. I just have a problem with that we're not just moving ahead and doing the business that we're supposed to be doing. Thank you.
I hear you, Representative Renecki, but we're still in the height of COVID and people going to the hospital at the last minute. This is a child that he has to bring for medical attention. So we'll forego that, but I appreciate what you said. You know, we've got a number of bills and this is our first day. So we'll make more of an effort to do that. Thank you. Anybody else? So it's been moved and seconded to postpone. Again, we will let you know what date. I hope it's mutually convenient. If not, we'll have another discussion. I see that 2 other members have joined us, Representative Reckitt and Representative Pluker. Let's have a vote. You both know, or you heard that we are now voting on the motion to postpone at the request of the sponsor, LD 1154, and that's the safety of prisoners and jail staff. So are you all set to vote, Representative Reckitt and Pluker? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. So do we have a roll call? No, just a show of hands. Okay. A show of hands. All those in favor of the motion to postpone, please raise your hand.
Senator,
Yes.
I think you should do, the roll call for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the
Yep.
boxes keep moving.
Yep. Thank you. We probably were best doing that. Ms. Fahey, can you call for a roll call, please?
Certainly. Cameras on and unmute for a roll call vote, please. We're voting on to table LD 1154. Representative Warren.
Yes.
Representative Warren votes yes. Representative Morales.
Yes.
Representative Morales votes yes. Representative Reckitt.
Yes.
Representative Reckitt votes yes. Representative Sharp. Representative Sharp is absent. Representative Lookner.
Yes.
Representative Lookner votes yes. Representative Pickett.
Yes.
Representative Pickett votes yes. Representative Costain.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Costain votes yes. Representative Rudnicki.
No.
Representative Rudnicki votes no. Representative Newman.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Is that a yes? Okay, thank you. Representative Newman votes yes. Representative Pluker.
Yes.
Representative Pluker votes yes. Senator Lawrence. Senator Lawrence is absent. Senator Searway.
Yes.
Senator Searway votes yes. Senator DeChambeau.
Yes,
Senator DeChambeau votes yes. That's 9 yes and 1 no.
thank you. Now I will ask Representative Reckett to please introduce herself.
Thank you. My name is Lois Reckett. I represent District 31 in South Portland. Thank you.
And Representative Pluker.
Thank you very much. I am Bill Pluker. I represent House District 95, which is Warren, Hope, Appleton. I'm part of Union, and I'm on the road. I apologize for my appearance.
No, that's okay, thank you. So we're through with 11:54. I see Representative Kinney is with us, and her bill is up for a work session. Yes, I should have done something else, I think. The work session is now on 11:75, and that is sponsored by Representative Kinney, an act to prohibit excessive telephone, video, and commissary charges in Maine jails and prisons. I will turn this over. I believe I failed to do that with the other one, but I knew that was going to be postponed. Welcome, Marianne, or Representative Kinney. Excuse me?
Just procedurally, Senator DeChambeau, we should start with Jane.
That's who I was going to. I just wanted to say hello to her. Yes.
Wonderful, thank you.
So I turn it over to our policy analyst, Jane Overton, who will give us a summary of what was discussed at the hearing or heard. Ms. Overton. Yes,
Sure.
thank you.
Okay, this is LD 1175, sponsored by Representative Kinney. It was heard on April 14th last year and was worked on April 29th and May 6th, and it was carried over. At the works there, so there were 2 work sessions. So I have updated the bill analysis for you so that it reflects what happened last year, and then information that came in within the last week. At the work session on April 23rd, the committee members discussed the bill with Representative Kinney, York County Sheriff King, and Department of Corrections Commissioner Liberty. There has been quite a bit of information on this bill. It's been posted, and I included in the bill analysis form a hot link to where that is. After this, Deb and I will send out to you directions on how to get to those posted bill analyses and testimony and other information that people have submitted. So you'll, just as a reminder, there are a couple ways to do it. You can, choose among those ways. We'll send you a reminder on how to do it. From at that work session in April 23rd, Robert Ruffner, a defense attorney, provided an email that is included at the back of the bill analysis, and it was in the bill analysis for that session too. He asked for free phone calls to counsel, and he provided information on what is done in other states and other counties. Courtney Allen from Maine Recovery Advocacy Project provided a chart of costs of phone calls in Maine jails and prisons, and a graph of advanced commission payments. She reported phone call costs running from 14 cents a minute in Cumberland to 29 cents a minute in Hancock. Jail shares of that running from 5% in Oxford to 83% in Cumberland. And connection fees of $1.30 to $1.75 per call. From Anna Black, you received a chart showing balances in DOC resident trust accounts and populations by facility. Then there was a work session on May 6th, and that one was shorter and did not involve as much substantive discussion. It was more procedural. Then prior to today's work session, you received information from Jan Collins from Maine Prisoner Advocacy Coalition on free phone access in other states, and from Sandra Katz of SACO and one other person. Excuse me, just a second. Cheryl Mills from Wells. In addition, Olin Reese, a resident of Maine State Prison, submitted a letter that included signatures from 300 residents of the Maine State Prison, asking that no changes be made to the inmate benefit fund at the prison and agreeing that some changes need to be made at the county jails. Mr. Reese stated that Maine State Prison residents pay 9 cents a minute, 4 cents of which goes to the phone service provider and 5 cents which goes to the inmate benefit fund. There is no connection fee, and residents may make one free 10-minute phone call per week. On January 6th, I guess that was last week, I forwarded to you an email from Anna Black that included the DOC commissary contract with Keefe Commissary Network, information on resident trust accounts, and a breakdown of expenses from the inmate benefit fund. Also, prior to this meeting, I forwarded to you a survey from Marion Lamar from the Maine Sheriff's Association, providing information on telephone, video, and texting services. Her information is slightly different from Courtney Allen's. It may be that it was a different year, or perhaps some different jails responded. But there are wide variations in costs and in the amount of money that goes into the inmate benefit funds. That's all I have for you that's new. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for all of that. I now will recognize the sponsor, Representative Kinney, and thank you very much. I see you're not feeling too well, but you're joining us from your home probably. So
I am. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I've got that nasty cough going around. So I'm going to try not to cough in your ears. In some of the research I've done since sponsoring this bill, what I'm hearing is that what we're trying to do with this is mandate to our sheriff's departments, to our county jails, how they're going to spend their budgets. And to me, that's a dangerous path to go down. But I also have that heart-wrenching feeling, when you hear about a child that can't talk to his father because they can't afford to pay for the phone call for that week. That's not helpful to the inmate either. Some of the things that I've learned is what an inmate benefit fund is. I've learned that our county jails are less than 1 year of incarceration, and they're run by elected officials, sheriffs, county commissioners, county treasurers. they like us are elected by their constituents, and they have their own budgets that are separate from what we do at the state level. But it does seem like there is a great discrepancy amongst what each county is being charged based on who they use for their phone calls. And these computer systems that they're using to develop these calls are only as good as the inputs put into them. This morning, we were supposed to start BLA at 9 o'clock. We didn't start till after 10 because of computer glitches. So there are concerns that I do still have regarding this, and wonder if there are ways to see some of these counties that have very high rates per minute for phone calls, if they can work with some of the other counties that are getting much better rates. And it seems like if we could change this maybe into a resolve and do a study and maybe help out the county jails rather than mandate them to do something from our perspective. At this point, I did get a chance to visit the Maine State Prison, met with several of the residents there, and was very impressed with what they're doing in that prison. I've been very fortunate that I don't know anyone in jail. And so this was an eye-opener for me, and I really appreciated seeing how this all works. I also spoke with county jails and heard that they do have issues, and I know Courtney Allen mentioned that there were issues. I had several Zoom meetings with her and people that were upset because phone calls between their counsel and the inmate were recorded. And what I was hearing was if the inmate or the counsel does not let the jail know they have a new phone number or a new counsel, there's no way to know that they've switched counsel, that this is a number that needs to be put into that exemption. Again, the computer is only as good as the inputs that it has, and it can't guess that the inmate is speaking with their lawyer. So I think that there's a lot more that can be done for this, and I'm hesitant to just push something through at this point without further discussion, without further study. And I think where this is something that's a local issue, we need to tread very lightly, because that's not our job and it becomes a mandate. And I don't think that we want to have a mandate come to the floor of the House and the Senate.
Thank you, Representative Kinney. Are you all set?
For now, that's where I'm at. I'd like to see more of a study go to help the counties, maybe to see if there is a way to get them to pool their resources. I know where I live, fire and rescue and ambulance services are pooled because each individual town can't handle it. So I'm wondering if that's something we can do to help the county jails that are struggling.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't see who had their hand first. Representative Warren or Senator Searway? Did anybody?
The senator did.
Okay. Senator Searway.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Kinney, you're bringing this forward, and I feel I understand where you're coming from. I worked in the jails, and I understand it. I think, and I'm not big for the mandate either, because there is factors that we don't see and that sort of thing, but our elected officials, and they want to do a good job. So I think if we can maybe do a letter of direction, and rather than making a mandate and say that, we strongly think that maybe something can be done for helping the inmates on the phone cost down, and that may be something that the Sheriff's Association can work together, trying to come up with some technique of getting it close to on the same page. And so I think if we could do that, maybe that's something can be constructed in a nice way, and we can send it from the committee. And that's a thought that I'm proposing, but I guess let other people say what they want, but that's where I'm at. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Stairway. Representative Warren.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the sponsor for bringing this forward. Senator, do you want to mute your computer?
Oh,
thank you. It's hard to focus when I can hear myself in like 5 different places. So there were a group of us who did, as we planned when we took the vote to table last July, that did get together and work on this bill with the interested parties as we directed. And one of the things that we found is that the FCC did the study for us, which is quite convenient for us. In May, the FCC voted unanimously and set a standard to vote some rates of prison and jail phone calls in between states, recognizing exactly what the sponsor just said, that Representative Kinney just shared with us, is that there is vast sort of distances between what's being offered in each jail. And so they came up with a uniform rule and are waiting for states to then follow their lead. So as we all know, the FCC cannot regulate what we do inside our state. They can regulate what happens between states. So what we worked on was an amendment to the bill that would do a few different things. And I haven't been able to get in touch with Representative Kinney. I know she's been really busy, so I haven't heard back from her since July. And so I didn't want to offer the amendment until she had a chance to share what she was working on and if she had an amendment to offer. But the amendment does a few different things. What we heard was some real understandable heartburn around doing anything with the Inmate Betterment Fund. And so we'd like to leave that alone when it comes to the Department of Corrections. We think that if the state could align itself with what the FCC regulations are, 12 cents per minute. Deb, could you screen share the amendment, and Jane, could you email
Sure.
that
Just a sec.
around? Thank you. The amendment basically responds to all of the concerns that we've heard. So it does not touch the Inmate Betterment Fund. It does not change the cost to DOC one bit. It does allow, as we heard requested, the 2 free telephone calls to attorneys. Now, as we know, that won't cost the DOC because that's all reimbursed already by the state. And how we know about who the attorney is they are on the do not record list. So that information is already available for those particular calls. And that's actually already happening. And the final piece is that the proposal, the amendment, would propose 2 15-minute phone calls a week for residents. So it gets at what the sponsor just shared, which is, I think we all shared our concern about folks not being able to afford phone calls to their family, to their children, to their parents, et cetera, and how important that is for corrections to work and rehabilitation to work. So that's what the the amendment aims to do, and I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Senator Searway does. And Representative Morales.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I got a question. Has the Sheriff's Association, have they been, has anybody talked to them?
We have been in conversation with the sheriffs multiple times about this bill. We would have to ask Courtney if they signed off. They have not seen this recent amendment because I got this recent amendment yesterday afternoon when Jane finished drafting it. So I'm happy to circulate this to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we vote on that, I'd want to make sure that they saw this and hear
Sure.
from them. Yeah.
And like I said, it felt important to me to defer to what the sponsor was going to do before I was to offer an amendment on her bill. And I've been unavailable to get in touch with her. So that's why I apologize. You're just seeing it for the first time. But I did not want to step on her toes.
Thank you.
Before I recognize Representative Morales, I just want a clarification. What we just saw on the screen, I thought I looked at all my emails. Have we seen that? Has that been sent to us?
No, I just asked Jane to send it to you now. I was not able to get in touch with the sponsor, and I did not want to offer an amendment when she might have been coming with an amendment. I did not feel that that was an appropriate move. So I waited to see if she had an amendment. She does not. And so that's why now I've put it forward.
I will recognize Representative Morales, and then I will, Representative Kinney, I don't know, you were nodding. I was wondering if you wanted to say a few words, but let's listen to Representative Morales.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A question about, I'm just looking at the amendment and what I believe Representative Warren said. So is the FCC new approved rates, is that, did I hear that right, that the DOC already follows those approved rates, and is it something they're required to do by law in order for them to be licensed? Is that there? And then the second piece of it is, it's 12 cents per call, or is it 12 cents per minute? And I'm looking in our file and emails from Jane to see if we have anything that pulls together where our counties are at with that, those charges. I don't know if we have that. So that's a question for Jane. Do we have that broken down per county of what the cents per call per hour are? Thank you.
I can say that you got a lot of information over the last 8 months on that. You got a survey from the Maine Sheriff's Association, and you also got a submission from Courtney Allen and Winifred Tate. Those are all in the committee materials on this bill. They're posted.
Jane, where could I find the posting of all the materials?
Okay. If you go to the Criminal Justice Committee in the legislature's internet site, if you go to the Criminal Justice Committee and then you go to committee materials, it lists the materials by bill. And you go into 1175 and they're all there, and there is a posting date. So if you look for anything that was posted in January of 2022, you'll get the most recent postings, but they're all done by name and they're there. If you happen to go in the other direction, which I don't recommend, you'll have to use the public hearing, the public hearing date of the bill. So if you get stuck and have gone in backwards, you'll need to enter the public hearing date.
Okay, thank you.
And if I may, just answer Representative Morales's questions.
Correct.
Yes, the DOC already is aligned. Senator, would you mute your computer? Thank you. Thank you. The DOC is aligned with these standard rates already, so that's why it would be no change for them. And yes, you are correct, Representative. It's 12 cents per minute in prisons. It's 14 cents per minute in jails with more than 1,000 inmates a day. It's 21 cents per minute in jails with less than 1,000 inmates per day. And that comes from the FCC's study around regional sizes of jails, right? That the same thing that we know and what Representative Kinney was so correct in saying is that we don't want to mandate a one size fits all policy because our jails are different sizes. And so that's what the FCC took into consideration when they studied the size of jails and the regulation of these phone calls. And that's why different rates are regulated based on the population numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Representative Wernicke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have some concerns around the amendment still being a mandate. And I would like, before we would take a vote on this, I certainly would like to hear from the counties and the sheriffs to see where their thoughts are based on what they currently do versus what this amendment would do and cause them for increased in their budgets. We already know that most of these counties are understaffed and having trouble with their budgets in a lot of ways. So before we would pass something like this, I certainly would like to see how it would actually affect the different counties, because rural counties, there's definitely a difference when you start mandating some of the, specific fees. If they are charging more, there may be a reason that they're charging more, and whether their providers are charging them more or any of that. And I would certainly want to hear from them prior to actually voting for this. Thank you.
Senator Searway.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate Representative Warren bringing the amendment forward about CC doing a study and whatever and the 12. But I just have a question on, I was reading where I got a letter from one of the prisoners at the state prison, and they had like 300 prisoners' signatures on it. And they said that they started out with a 30-minute, for the phone rates, 30 cents per minute, but then, and this person's been in like 19 and a half years, and they changed it, and now it's like 9 cents per minute. So that's even less that was mentioned. And they're very happy with the inmate benefit fund. And so I wouldn't want to touch that if it's even 3 cents less than what you're talking about. And then on the Sheriff's Association, it's important that they have input on it, because I don't know what the circumstances is in each jail and why they charge what they do, and whether it has to do with their own that they have, that sort of thing. It may be factors that we don't know. And so I just don't want to put a mandate when we have elected officials that can govern that. And I send a letter, it would really be more of an impact, and we could see how that, if it helped, and then go from there. I'm just, that might be the route to go, but that's me.
Senator Warren.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I appreciate those comments by Senator Searway. And it was precisely in response to those concerns about the Inmate Betterment Fund that we wrote this amendment. So this amendment, Senator, could you mute your computer? Thank you. So this amendment does not have any connection to the Inmate Betterment Fund anymore. So this amendment does not touch the Inmate Betterment Fund. So that's no longer an issue. Secondly, I am very happy to send this around to the sheriffs and have them be here at a future work session. I would then ask that either somebody make the motion. I see my colleague, Representative Rudnicki, has a comment, so I'm not going to make the motion to table and bring back at another time. But if we could do that, I could have time to circulate this to the sheriffs and invite them to the next work session.
I recognize Representative Rudnicki. You have you're muted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was looking in the attendees list, and we do have Sheriff Lancaster in the attendees list. Could we just get a brief, comment what he's thinking on this before we move forward? Is that possible?
My
Representative, I'd like to ask that we give them a fair chance to look at the amendment. As you all are caught without seeing the amendment beforehand, because I was trying to wait, I'd like to afford the sheriffs that same opportunity to look at it first, and for the association to look at it, as opposed to putting him on the hot seat today.
I will make a few comments on this. We've touched on it a little. If you would take a look at the original testimony from, I believe, Sheriff King was representing the association at that time. He, in his testimony, said that some of the sheriffs, a number of them, got together and decided to go with one provider so they could somewhat stabilize it, and it would be even across the board. So I looked at what was provided to us, and it was a phone rate survey that's 3 years old, but that's what was provided to us. The sheriffs went with a company called Securus. Securus charges 14, I think, different counties, anything from the first minute of 29 cents for the first minute to $1.75. So there's a discrepancy, even with the same provider. Again, that's what we learned, is that the jails negotiate a contract. Interestingly enough, there's another provider named Legacy, and they provide all the services for the whole Department of Corrections. Their first minute is 9 cents. So many of the people who are at the Maine State Prison right now, or any Department of Corrections jail, prison, have been in their jails before. The maximum for a 15-minute call with the Department of Corrections is something like $3.44, whereas the jails are $6.23. There's a complete spread there. It is sad for me when I looked at the highest 15-minute phone calls come from our poorest counties: Franklin, Knox, Oxford, Piscataquis, Waldo. So there is a discrepancy. As far as standardization, it's a good thing. Even the FCC, whatever they recommended, isn't going to be touching DOC, which is less expensive than what FCC recommends. I would like to see, I've heard, quote, the rumor that it did pass. I would like to see the FCC report on what it is across the board. The other thing, if we're going to have postpone this and the amendment somewhat directs sheriffs to get together, all I could think of is the providers themselves may want to testify. You saw in the report with the Department of Corrections, on a 9 cents a minute call, 4 cents goes to the providers, 5 cents goes to the benefit fund. I don't know if we could stop the providers from wanting to come and testify in the discrepancy. Again, I believe you'll see that it's whatever they negotiate. So this is a big ball to try to unravel. It reminds me of my own body cam, which is 3 years old and still being looked into. And that was after we had 1 year delay with the Muskie Institute, who did a complete survey of every law enforcement agency. And we still haven't come to some conclusion, which we're aiming to do. So this amendment, although it is supported by the FCC, first of all, we don't know, we haven't read that. It was interesting what was up there on the camera about what part of that amendment looks like. I find that interesting, but we haven't seen that either. So we will, I don't mind a postponement, but if we're going to be inviting the sheriffs, there are other county commissioners may want to come back and testify. This, to me, I think changes it somewhat, and it impacts the counties and the local. And I agree with what was mentioned just now about a mandate. And it's hard to mandate. I know it with the body cams, that the county jails would all want to be placed in one basket. So I want us to tread lightly on this. This is like a completely different bill. I don't think it's just a quick fix. And we want to do it right. So having said that, again, I'm going to have to learn, like I did last time, how I find out who had their hand up first. Representative, Senator Searway, go right ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate what you've been saying, and I've been listening. And I think if we're going to send it to the Sheriff's Association, I know Sheriff Lancaster, and he's listening, and he'd like to speak. If we can bring him on, I just request to ask him to come on and see if that sounds reasonable, and also just you know, and go from there. So can we just bring him on for a moment? I mean, I wouldn't see the harm in it.
Senator Searway, I missed the name you mentioned.
Sheriff Lancaster.
Okay. Again, I think it's still in committee. I'm not ready to go out there yet. We're still ironing. I will probably shortly. Let me just turn over to Representative Warren, who'd like to make a comment.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to answer your question, am I still muted? Okay, just to answer your question, the amendment is in your email now. And it was in your email as soon as we started talking about it. And I will email to you all immediately the report from the FCC that you're asking for. And so I just want to clarify with you, are you suggesting another public hearing on this bill? That wasn't my intention, but if that's what you're suggesting, I think we should talk about that.
Thank you for the question on that one. I think it is my opinion that it is wide enough, the net is cast wide enough that if we're going to go with the FCC, that even the county commissioners would want to speak on that. I don't know how we would stop providers who are under contract. And I'm sure the providers have come across this in other states. And whether there is a fall to that, whether it's it benefits the counties or the states or not. And I think that's information I would like to have because that's nationwide. I'm not going away from the phone calls. If you will, I've read a number of forms here. Since COVID and even before, we're talking communication with family, with children. Communication has come a long way from when I did it, which was a pencil and paper, frankly. The phone calls were pay phones. So they now have tablets, they have video. Some of them do have money and they can abide by that, but I don't want to digress, but we're focusing on, as a result of the FCC, we're going to focus on that. Not every state, I'm sure, has, not even every county. I think Cumberland doesn't even have tablets. But there are other avenues to communicate with family and friends than to touch or meddle with this right now. And when I say pencil and paper, part of the job of a caseworker or a manager with every single prisoner is accountability. And for them to think sometimes out of the box on how to communicate with family and friends. So again, to answer your particular comment on, I don't want, I'm wondering if it is a public hearing, it's probably another bill. It's not, I don't think, a simple amendment. I think it impacts, we're taking a federal discussion, a federal vote, and trying to piece that part of the puzzle in the state of Maine. So that's the comment I wanted to make. I see Representative Morales and Senator Seaway is next, but we'll begin with Representative Morales.
Thank you, and thank you for those comments. I take when I hear what is being offered in the amendment, knowing that there are many ways to communicate with folks, I don't necessarily see that as being outside the four corners of this bill and the intent of the bill. As requiring another hearing. What I've just read through as we're listening here, the responses back from the sheriffs to note all the different charges per minute. Some of them have responded back, they use Securus, some have not. Some are complying with the FCC rates as already, some are not. So it seems like it's possible. And certainly, I don't know if we're talking about having another hearing to give providers the input, because we could certainly find out from the sheriffs when their contracts are up and, require as soon as the contract is up with the law that then they come into compliance. I mean, I think there are ways that we can get there. So I'm not sure if it really makes sense to have another hearing for our time and based on the work we've already done and our understanding of the issue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I was just going to look it up, my emails, and I see that Sheriff King from York County, who I quoted, says in his email to me, there is a new one right now. And to say thank you to Representative Renecki and Senator Seaway, Sheriff King suggests that Sheriff Lancaster has that Sirius or Securus has made the rates, so Securus, whatever it is, that provider, they have made the rates statewide, and he believes it is 21 cents. So I will, at this moment, based on what Sheriff King just said, recognize Sheriff Lancaster to give us an update. It sounds like in this email that the jails are now going to be doing this statewide. So they're following the FCC, if that is correct. So hearing no objection, I'd like to recognize Sheriff Lancaster. Welcome, Sheriff Lancaster. Do you have a video, Sheriff Lancaster? There you are. Thank you.
I do. Thank you, Senator DeShamble and Representative Warren.
Sheriff Lancaster, did you hear what I said? I read Sheriff King's just emailed to me stating that you might have more information on this that is up to date.
Well, I have some information. Here, I can talk to Somerset. We have migrated to Securus, which is, we identified some issues last year, and we are paying the FCC rate of 21 cents per minute. Now, county jails have contracts. There are different contracts. Those contracts are keeping the taxpayer in mind. Securus takes the front end of most of the money to pay for that equipment. We are moving to tablets, and that's paid for by the fees that Securus, we pay Securus for a per minute phone call.
I'm looking at a report that was 3 years old. You just went to Securus, right?
Yes, ma'am. Securus is the name of the company, and we just went into a contract to redo our phone systems, introduce tablets, and our jail management system. So that cost to us was around $250,000, and some of that, the part of that contract has to do with the fees that we charge per minute to enhance the ability for the inmate to communicate with their loved ones.
Okay. So what I'm thinking now is Representative Warren is correct to send a note to all the sheriffs. It sounds like some might be willing to follow your lead on that, or renegotiate their existing contracts to comply with the FCC rate at 21. We don't have one jail that's over 1,000 inmates, so it would be 21 across the board, possibly. So I agree that we should invite the Sheriff's Association or any sheriff individually that may want to add to that. That might enlighten us for a final vote on this, especially if it's standard. Thank you, Sheriff Lancaster. You may remain if you wish to add more. Senator Seaway. Senator Seaway, I did recognize you. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sheriff Lancaster, I understood on this, Representative Warren met with stakeholders, and I don't know if you know about the 12 cents. Why it's 21 cents and they said 12 cents, and I'm confused. And also I just wondering how the sheriffs, I know there's some differences, and I was wondering how coming up with a mandate of one fee.
So to answer your questions, Senator, this is the first time I've heard about the amendment. I don't believe any other sheriff has heard about the amendment. I could be mistaken. We'd have to revisit that. I think each county has different contracts with their vendors, and that might be why there's a different price scheduling for per minute call. And I can only speak for my county on what we do. I can't with the other 15 counties. That's between the sheriff and the commissioners on how it works in their county. I'm just telling you what we have done in Somerset. We have migrated to Securus.
If you looked at this amendment, do you think that that's something you can come back with us with and come up with?
Well, I think it's very important. It's very important that we look at the amendment, digest it, and I can tell you on first blush, there would be a fiscal impact to it.
Thank you.
Representative Wernicke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sheriff Lancaster, I guess that was the question I had was if it looks like, and again, I know you haven't seen the amendment and we really need to make sure that we get it out to you. My biggest concern is the fiscal impact that it has on the taxpayers of, in your case, Somerset County, which happens to be my county. So anything I can do to keep our taxes from going up. So the fiscal impact, do you believe now that you've migrated into this new system, do you actually think it's better, it's going to be better overall as far as the fees that are charged to the inmates?
Right. So the contract that we have with Securus is built on the fact that, so I wouldn't have to tax the taxpayer, the monies that they take pays for the new equipment and the tablets. And so, and it's also a little, I believe, looking at it, a more robust system, because we did have a problem last year with lawyers' phone numbers inadvertently being recorded. And we have to work diligently to make sure that that doesn't happen again. In part, I wanted to have I wanted my county inmates to have tablets, and I also wanted a more robust system on how we protect that client inmate conversation. But the fees are based on that upfront where Securus is paying for that equipment, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion to table.
Second.
Second by Representative Morales. Seeing if there's no discussion on a tabling motion. Representative Pickett, there's no discussion on a tabling motion. You've got you're muted.
I'm not gonna ask for any discussion on the tabling motion. I was out when the bulk of this was being taken up. I'd like to ask for a small recess for a caucus with my committee first before we take this vote.
Fine, I'm more to good. 5-10 minutes, what do you think?
Yeah, that should be set. And
10 minutes.
I'd ask Representative Rodnicki if she would send us out a Zoom for our caucus so that we can discuss it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There will be a 10-minute break. Well, I'll go as far as 15, well, B. It is now 11:25. We shall return at 11:40. Thank you.
I don't know if you can hear me, Senator, but if you can, we're back.
I just heard it. Dick, and you still got Representative Costain on you.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I just see her talking, but I see her microphone is off, but I see the senator talking to somebody.
Yeah,
So we're back anyways when they're ready to resume.
yeah.
You have not done 420, 426 or whatever it is, the one there, Representative Morales's bill. You haven't done that yet, right?
No.
That'll be interesting.
Thank you, Deborah. You read my mind. I think we're all back. Thank you.
We are.
Wow, this is the first time we're ahead of the game. Okay. So we have a motion, do we not? And did we have a second of Representative Warren? Was that Morales, Representative Morales is a second? Okay. So there is a motion on the floor. Both have caucus and there's no discussion on that. So we can have a vote. Deborah, I'm sorry, I hesitated. I want to call you representative, but I think that's all right. Deborah, would you please call for a vote?
Certainly. Cameras on and please unmute for a roll call vote. We're voting to table.
Are you muted?
Just a quick question on the table.
Okay, my fault. Okay.
Just a quick question on the table motion.
A question on the tabling motion. Go ahead, Mrs. Senator
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Warren, on the table motion, so by tabling this, you are going to contact the Sheriff's Association, get that worked on and other stakeholders? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now we'll have the vote.
Okay, we're voting to table LD 1175. Representative Warren.
Yes.
Representative Warren votes yes. Representative Morales.
Yes.
Representative Morales votes yes. Representative Reckitt.
On mic here.
I will circle back. Representative Sharp is absent. Representative Lookner.
Yes.
Representative Lookner votes yes. Representative Pickett.
Yes.
Representative Pickett votes yes. Representative Costain.
Yes.
Representative Costain votes yes. Representative Rudnicki.
Yes.
Representative Rudnicki votes yes. Representative Newman.
Yes.
Representative Newman votes yes. Representative Pluker.
Yes.
Representative Pluker votes yes. Senator Lawrence is absent. Senator Searway.
Yes.
Senator Searway votes yes. Senator DeChambeau. You're muted, Senator.
Yes.
Senator DeChambeau votes yes, and I'll circle back to Representative Reckitt. And it seems Representative Reckitt is absent, so we have 9 yes and 10 yes. It's unanimous.
Again, we'll depend on Representative Warren to get back to us. And also, we haven't forgotten Representative Kinney. If you had wanted to say something beforehand. So you'll be working, Representative Warren, with Representative Kinney? Representative Warren?
Representative Kinney, if you'd like to work with me, please reach out to me.
Sure thing. I'd be happy to look this over. I do have some questions myself, so absolutely.
Thank you. All right, so that concludes 1175. And the last one for today is LD 476, an act to provide licensed assisted living and nursing facilities levels of care for incarcerated persons. Okay. And again, turn that over to Ms. Orbiton for the policy analyst.
Okay, thank you. This is LD 476, an act to provide licensed assisted living and nursing facility level of care for incarcerated persons. The bill, which was sponsored by Representative Morales, was heard March 24th. There was a work session held on April 16th, and Representative Morales reported that she and Jan Collins from Maine Prisoner Advocacy Coalition had met with representatives of the Department of Corrections, and we're looking forward to coming back for the second session. I won't spend a lot of time on the bill itself, but it does require the Department of Corrections to provide assisted living and nursing facility levels of care in licensed units in the Department of Corrections facilities and in licensed facilities in the community. It has the bill requires an assessment of medical and social needs using Maine Care Eligibility Assessment Tool. And it requires Department of Corrections to work with DHHS to develop assisted living in correctional facilities and to provide care in the community. It also requires some training, DOC to train community facilities in the specific needs of prisoners. I won't go into that further, but I will bring to your attention that I sent out to you this morning, and you got in the normal course of events, I think last week, a notice of final rule adoption for the supervised community confinement program that does in section 5N have some procedures for care in other settings by people who are terminally ill or severely incapacitated. I shouldn't explain those. That I really think should come to you from the department. But that's what I wanted to bring to your attention today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Overton. I now will turn it over to the sponsor, Representative Morales.
Thank you, Senator.
I think she's frozen, which is appropriate today, but.
We met recently on Monday to look at the language of this bill and some amended language, because we understand from the department that having them become licensed as an assisted living provider, even though they do provide long-term care to their inmates, because many of them are aging, is going to be tricky for them. So we have some language that is amended language that we talked about on Monday. And I think that there is, and then they shared with me the SCCP language that Ms. Orbiton just talked about. It is the language around care of those needing long-term care is very similar from as far as I can tell, from the previous SCCP policy. So there is some room there to perhaps meld the intent of this bill, which is really to establish standards of care for those who qualify for long-term care. Those are folks who can't do 6 of the activities of daily living, but are currently under the care of the DOC, and then to create a clear path for residents and their families to request to be, assessed for long-term care, and then whether that is something that their families find for them in the community, or whether that is something that their families can care for them in their home with hospice or other long-term care services. That is the direction that we're trying to go with together. And actually, Anna Black and I were talking this morning over email to try to figure out when is a good time to meet. And since today may be a little shorter than we anticipated, hopefully we can meet this afternoon, but if not, early next week is how we plan to approach this. So I'd ask this committee, after we discuss it, if they would allow me to meet with the department and finalize this language and bring it back to the committee for a final vote.
I see Representative Pickett's hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question. This new information that Representative Morales is talking about, how long has she been discussing this? And is this something that could have been done before this hearing today? Because this is going to be, we're looking like we're going to be probably thinking about tabling a 3rd bill today, 3 out of 3. And, we can't continue down this road. We gotta act upon some of this stuff so we can get to the new stuff coming in. So just want to know if there's something that could have been done. It might be a very good reason why it wasn't, or maybe it's something that just come up or whatever. But I really think we gotta be thinking about that, and we gotta be taking these bills and making the tough decisions and do what we have to do. Thank you.
Can anyone answer that for Representative Pickett?
Well, I think I'm probably the only person who can answer it. Representative Pickett, I've been working on this bill as with many other bills, discussing it with the department. We've been sharing information. I think we're at a place where we are coming to some sort of a compromise, which, as you know, sometimes takes a little bit of time and understanding. And that's where I think we are at with moving forward. So I would really appreciate the respect of my colleagues. They know that I try to do good work and work closely with all the stakeholders as best you can. And that's my intent. I do not think it's going to take a very long time. There's going to be one last bringing of language together now that we have the SCC policy, which is finally ready to be promulgated, I believe. And then we have this amended language, which is a compromise language. I think we can hopefully bring them together, and I will bring that language to you.
Thank you, Representative Morales. Representative Branicki.
So I'm going to just state it out there. We have nursing homes closing across the state, and we can't even afford for law-abiding citizens to get better nursing home care. And now we want to do it for inmates. I have a real issue with this. And, I'm a no on this, a hard no on this, because until we can take care of our law-abiding citizens for long-term care, I don't want to worry about taking care of the inmates. And I apologize if that offends anybody, but we need to take care of the law-abiding citizens first. Thank you.
Just to respond, Representative Branicki, to your statement, when this initially came out the first time, that's how I read it, that the licensing would be of a higher standard than some others. But what I'm hearing mostly now is independent of that, but parallel to what the Department of Corrections has on their own looked at the supervised community confinement program. And until we see that, what I heard mentioned is the possibility, and as someone who's worked with that, I prayed for this 20 years ago, which is the ability to have terminally ill prisoners apply for SCCP so they could probably die at home. That was never in the SCCP issue. There were issues about main care and what have you. So if the department has come out with a road that will cost much less for taxpayers and let the families take care of the individual, that's where I'm crossing my fingers on, and it sounds like that's a good path to follow. So I just want to make a comment on that. I see Senator Searway. It's getting to be the Senator Searway show. Okay, and Representative Pickett is next after Senator Searway.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When you mentioned that about sending them home, I had experience in a situation where the individual was terminally ill and the furlough to go home. They didn't want to pay the fees for operating costs, plus they didn't think he'd live much more than a month. And I had to set up a SWAT team and have it ready for when he got out, because I knew what would happen, because I went through a serious situation once with him. The second time, he rammed my cruiser and drove it feet across, and he was suicidal by cop, and he died in jail. But this is a serious thing when you let them out of a prison and they're on their deathbed. They could do something very serious. And there's a potential of even, I'd be totally against this. But the nursing homes, my mother's in a nursing home, and I was talking to a lot of the nursing home staff. They said that we weren't paid what we were supposed to get when we said for 25% more pay. And what happened was some changed the rules, and so they didn't get the income. I guess there was a big error somewhere, whether it was intended or not. It is trying to be straightened out to get that income. The nursing homes are struggling. But really, I'm very concerned about that as well. So I would vote no on this of letting them out to go to have their families take care of them.
Representative Pickett, and I have a comment to make afterwards. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. In response to Representative Morales, I in no way was saying that you weren't working. I know you diligently work on your bills. My question was simply that, was this something new that just came up, or was this something that you didn't get to and you would have got to? I just wanted to be sure that we all realize here on the committee that we need to keep moving. We got a lot of work to do, and we carried over 15 bills from last session. So and we got the short session. So I wanted to make sure that going forward, we understand that tabling motions, we want to work with each other, but on the other hand, I think we got to be prepared and ready, if at all possible, when the time comes to have our work sessions to go through them and do the votes, and not be looking for tabling sessions on the second session, especially on a bill that's already was here, and we were tasked with work to do beforehand. And secondly, I wondered if anybody is here from the DOC. I know they testified in opposition to it at the beginning. I know there was an amendment that was suggested by the commissioner. I just wondered if he was here, and or somebody that from the DOC was here, so we could hear from them in regards to what they are thinking moving forward with this.
If I may, Senator?
If no objection from co-chair, I would call the commissioner, Representative Warren.
I'd like to hear from Representative Morales. She has her hand up.
She does? Oh,
My real hand, not my
oh,
electronic hand. I'm sorry.
okay. Didn't see that, kid. Representative Morales.
Yes, thank you. And I'll only say, and I have no objection to the commissioner coming and talking and opening this up for much longer discussion if that's what you choose. However, I think we might have secured a time frame, Anna Black and I and members of the department, to meet this afternoon right after this meeting to hammer this out. As I said, I want to do it as quickly as possible. So it's up to the committee if you want to hammer that out before then I go and hammer it out with them. I will defer to my colleagues. Thank you.
Okay.
Then my answer, Senator DeChambeau, since you asked me, is let's give her a chance to work with the stakeholders today. She's going to do the work and bring it back to us. I'd like to make a motion to table.
Representative Warren, I would ask that tabling, I did indicate that I wish to make a comment afterwards. If you could hold that, please.
I will withdraw my tabling motion for you to make a comment.
Thank you. I want to make a comment to what the general public heard from Representative or Senator Searway. He used two terms, furlough and supervised community confinement are two different avenues. Furlough is not direct supervision, and it is determined by the administrators of the facility who goes on a furlough or the need to. Some could be furloughed to a hospital, and they may, depending on their custody, have a guard in the room. The beauty of supervised community confinement is that there are many steps before the individual is released, including talking to the victims, the neighbors, the district attorney before someone is released on supervised community confinement. So I just want to clarify that for the general public. So I will now entertain Representative Warren's motion.
I make a motion to table.
Motion has been made to table. Second, anybody?
Seconded.
Seconded by Representative Lookner. No discussion on a tabling motion, and we shall call for a vote. Deborah, thank you.
Here. Video on, and please unmute for a roll call vote. We're voting to table 4 LD 476. Representative Warren.
Yes.
Representative Warren votes yes. Representative Morales.
Yes.
Representative Morales votes yes. Representative Reckitt. You're muted, Representative.
Yes.
Representative Reckitt votes yes. Representative Sharp is absent. Representative Lookner.
Yes.
Representative Lookner votes yes. Representative Pickett.
No.
Representative Pickett votes no. Representative Costain.
Yes.
Representative Costain votes yes. Representative Rudnicki.
No.
Representative Rudnicki votes no. Representative Newman.
Yes.
Representative Newman votes yes. Representative Pluker.
Yes.
Representative Pluker votes yes. Senator Lawrence is absent. Senator Searway.
No.
Senator Searway votes no. Senator DeChambeau.
Yes.
Senator DeChambeau votes yes. That's 3 no and 8 yes.
Thank you. Well, that concludes our meeting for today, unless there are any matters that need to be brought forward. I see the hand of Representative Pickett. Representative Pickett?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to, I couldn't say anything prior to the vote, but the reason for my no vote on the tabling, because I pretty I'm pretty good on going with tables, but I thought that we could have somebody from DOC just to hear that they are working together, trying to get this solved, and just get a little bit of input from there first. And I thought it was not an unwarranted request, and because we were not allowed, I was not allowed to do that. That was the reason for my no vote. Thank you.
If I could, I'm unclear as to whether or not there was a tabling vote that I missed on the second bill that was considered today, because I was testifying at VLA at that moment.
Yes.
So I know that if I vote while somebody can see and hear me, then I don't have to chase around and do one other thing. So my vote is yes to table on the second table that got done today, whatever the number of that bill was.
Is that the video commissary 11?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
I've noted your vote.
Thank you.
That makes that 11-0 now, doesn't it, Deb?
It's unanimous. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
11 and 3 absent. No, it's only 2 absent. So yeah, 11. Sorry.
Sorry, I won a small gold medal from doing 3 committees at the same time this morning. It's a little nuts. So anyway, thanks for indulging me to let me vote.
We'll get you a trophy, not a medal, okay?
How about a beer? Except I don't drink beer. But
Wait a minute, someone is not muted. Jane, are you all set?
All
You
set.
are? Great, great. We are meeting again on Friday, which is 2 days from now. And we will be bringing up at that time LD 1795, and that's on building codes, and we'll be discussing that one. 1797, amend the laws governing the length of service award, and 1803, and that's EMS to recruit and retain firefighters, and that has to do with the award program. Oh, and excuse me, those are here. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead, Jane.
I'm sorry, Senator. I think you're working from a different list than me.
Oh, I'm going up to 19th. That's right. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I think we had 1307 and 1348.
Correct. And those are work sessions, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
And did you want to also talk about 1795, whether to re-refer that?
We could, yes, clean that up today. I will ask my co-chair to talk about Representative Bryant's yes, bill having to do with updating building codes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Bryant has a bill LD 1795 that inadvertently got referred here to our committee. The sponsor and the department have asked that it get re-referred back to where it belongs, which is state and local government. We were hoping to take a vote to send that bill instead of us doing it, to send it back to state and local government.
I get a little confused with that one. Do we need to take a vote to move it, or are they asking to have it back? What is it that we need to do today?
They are asking to have it back, so we would make a motion, but I need to know if we are okay to do this today, Jane.
Sure.
I would make a motion. Okay, then and certainly let me make a motion and then we'll discuss it, of course. I would make a motion that we re-refer LD 1795 to state and local government.
Second. I'll second it.
Senator DeSanto, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Good.
Honestly, I'm going to put a button on this desk so I don't have to figure this one out. Representative Pickett.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I just have a quick question, possibly, I haven't looked at 1795 at all, but I know we've done quite a bit with building codes in our committee. So I just wanted to get a little bit of the context of what this bill is and why it needs to go back to state and local, just if there can be some clarification before I vote, where I haven't had a chance to see it.
That's a great question. Thank you, Representative Pickett. Although the bill does reference building codes, and you're absolutely right that we are the committee that has been dealing with building codes, the bill is actually about the Bureau of General Services and what codes they should be following. Since it has to do with the Bureau of General Services, and they are overseen by state and local government, they asked that it come back to them. And again, it's a request from the sponsor and also from the department DAFs, which Bureau of General Services is a part of DAFs, as you all know. But that's why they were asking.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the explanation.
Sure.
I have Representative Pickett, I have just a little bit more. I want you to know that initially I was going to challenge that in that it was building codes, the same argument that you presented. So I went one step further and called Commissioner Sawchuk, because there is a small section in there that did speak that the Department of Public Safety would be overseeing that. I thought it was something new, and I didn't want to vote on something that we went through this last year on another bill. They took it from one department and gave it to public safety. He followed it up with speaking with Rich McCarthy of the Fire Marshal's office, since building code comes under that umbrella. And they supported the bill as is and should go to state and local. That whatever Department of Public Safety, it was just a little piece of that. So I let Representative Warren know that I would support this, having checked the boxes. So
thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're all set on that. So there is the motion was what now? I'm gonna put the wording in there.
The motion is to re-refer this
Correct.
bill to state and local government.
Thank you. And it's been seconded. If there's no further discussion, we'll have a vote. And let's have a roll call.
Cameras on, and please unmute for a roll call vote. Representative Warren.
Yes.
Representative Warren votes yes. Representative Morales.
Yes.
Representative Morales votes yes. Representative Reckitt.
Yes.
Representative Reckitt votes yes. Representative Sharp is absent. Representative Lookner.
Yes.
Representative Lookner votes yes. Representative Pickett.
Yes.
Representative Pickett votes yes. Representative Costain.
Yes.
Representative Costain votes yes. Representative Rudnicki.
Yes.
Representative Rudnicki votes yes. Representative Newman.
Yes.
Representative Newman votes yes. Representative Pluker.
Yes.
Representative Pluker votes yes. Senator Lawrence is absent. Senator Searway.
Yes.
Senator Searway votes yes. Senator DeChambeau.
Yes.
Senator DeChambeau votes yes. That's unanimous with yes, 11 yes votes.
Thank you. And again, thank you for the work today. We'll get going. We're waiting for bills to come in to reschedule. We've got a number of them for the next 2 weeks anyways. But Friday, just 2 bills. If you would take the time to look at those again, they both have to do with fireworks, the sale or the decibel levels. So let's be prepared for that one. Have a good one day free and we'll see you Friday.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Senator Seaway, the last word.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, I have a public hearing in judiciary at 9 o'clock that day. So I don't know in that committee. So just so you know, and I do have an amendment for the 1348, and I think we're getting close, so we should be good. So.
Representative Warren, I don't have it in front of me, but are we beginning at 10 Friday?
Yes, we begin at 10, and as I said to Senator Searway yesterday, we can put his bill second, so
Yeah.
he will have more than enough time to get there from his testimony in front of
Great.
VLA at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right, so long, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.